Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I am so excited. I'm so excited, right? I'm excited because one, I'm in Texas and right now the weather is fantastic. It is not too hot. There is a breeze. It's awesome being outside, hence why I am shooting this video outside. So if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Whittaker. I am a psychologist, I am a speaker, I am an author, I am all the things. And I have a heart and a passion for boys and helping moms to raise sons to be emotionally whole and confident. All right, so I want to share some things with you all today for Mental Health Awareness Month. This was a question that I've been asked several times, and so I wanted to shed some light. And so one of the things that has been asked of me was, what do I do if I want to take my son or daughter, but this usually is more specifically geared towards boys. If I want to take my son to therapy, but he's not engaging with the therapist. And so what I often say is have your son be involved in the process of choosing a therapist, right? Because they may only want to talk to a male, or they may only want to talk to a female, or they may have they could have a plethora of ideas of who they would like to talk to and share information with. So I would say get your son involved in the process, especially if they're adolescents, right? When I say get them involved, show them pictures, have them read up on the therapist or communicate that with them. Ask them what type of therapist. I'm thinking it would be valuable for you to seek therapy. What kind of therapist do you want? Do you want a male therapist? Do you want a female therapist? Or if you know someone and you feel like they would be a good fit, then introduce them. Set up an appointment and see if it's a good fit, because it just may not be. So one is have your son be part of that process. The other part of this is oftentimes if you are anticipating your son being in therapy and the therapist is very traditional, that may not be a good fit, because what I have learned in working with in doing therapy with kids, boys especially, and with my own sons, is that this whole just like sitting and talking doesn't work. And so what you'll find is you get your sons to open up a lot more in activity. So if the therapist is engaging in a game, or the therapist, like I said, is non-traditional and they can do some things outside, or just engaging them in activity. And so if the therapist is only going to do the conventional sit in the office and expect your son to talk to them, that just may not be a good fit. So one, engage your son in the process of choosing a therapist. Two, make sure that the therapist that you're choosing has a tools in their toolkit, right? That they're not so fixed to doing things one specific way that they're not open to trying different things, right? So I would say those two things are really important. And lastly, when your son, after you take him to the first appointment and he's like, yeah, I don't like this, I don't know about this. Well, when he says he doesn't like this, ask him more questions. Do you not like the therapist? What part of this do you not like? Do you not see that it could be helpful or beneficial? Or do you want to do it in a group format? Because sometimes it's easier for kids, especially adolescent boys, to feel more comfortable if there's a group setting, right? So if there's a group therapy option with other adolescents his age, same gender, that may be more comfortable for him. So ask him those questions after you leave the therapy session to determine, what's my next step. It could just be that, it takes a little bit of time to gain some rapport, and or it could be that your son doesn't feel like it's a good fit, and that's okay. But be sure that you're listening to him and not just hearing him say, I don't want to do this. Ask him some questions. Is it therapy that you don't like? What is it that you don't like? And what is it that you think would make it better? And then just reiterate to him why you think it's a good idea for him to do therapy. And then, there's a lot of talk about therapy. There's a lot of misinformation about therapy and what therapists do. And so communicating that with him is, always a good thing. So in transparency, I chose a therapist for my son based on me knowing the therapist and knowing some information about his background. Now, I do have the maybe the advantage, right? Because I previously was a therapist, and so I do know other therapists, but even still, I knew this therapist, I knew his background story. And so if you're looking to find out more about the therapist, check out social media, because a lot of times you will hear therapists talk about their story, why they got into therapy, why they work with adolescents, why they do what they do, and that's helpful in choosing a therapist. And so that is why I chose the therapist that I chose for my son, and it's been a good fit. Now, I will say he was reluctant to start. I did explain to him why I thought it could be beneficial, and once he got over the nervousness of the first session, he did enjoy it, and he said it's not what I thought it was going to be. So I'm sharing all these things because I've experienced them, and so not only as a professional but also as a parent. So ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Now, don't drill with questions, because then you might not get much, right? And when you're asking the questions and when you're having the conversation about therapy, make it casual. Go on a walk, play basketball, play chess, whatever it is that your son enjoys doing. Have the conversation with him during that time. All right, y'all, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so make sure that you are taking care of your mental health as a parent and your son and or daughter's mental health. We have some great things coming up, and so be sure to subscribe to the newsletter so that you can hear all the things that we have coming up in the next a few weeks and next few months. Until next time. Hey y'all, so I forgot to say, not only do I want you to subscribe to the newsletter, but check out the podcast, Raising Sons. The link will be in the description box. And not only check out the podcast, I have a book. It's called Strong Men Start Here, A Mom's Roadmap to Raising Confident and Emotionally Whole Sons. So the link to the book will also be in the show notes. Hey y'all, so I forgot to say, not only do I want you to subscribe to the newsletter, but check out the podcast, Raising Sons. The link will be in the description box. And not only check out the podcast, I have a book. It's called Strong Men Start Here, A Mom's Roadmap to Raising Confident and Emotionally Whole Sons. So the link to the book will also be in the show notes. All right, y'all, until next time.